Hello there, welcome back to Tuck and Cash. I hope you are doing well. So today we're gonna do the last part 3 of Tuck or Play for Oceania Bird, where I'm gonna look at each bird and give you my 2 cents whether I think they're worth playing or tugging. Of course, I have very limited experience with Oceania birds so far, so take it as a grain of salt here. All right, let's jump straight to it. So we have the Fasten Kukol. So a pink power birds. When another player lay eggs, you get the lay eggs on this bird. So we kind of talk about this. Getting passive eggs is kind of big in Oceania, and 2 food for 1 point is not great, but I think the tempo is great, and you get to counter your opponent grassland engine. So I think this is a play. All right, so we have the pink ear duck. You get to draw 2, give 1 to another player, and keep the other. So we kind of talk about this with another bird with the same power. Very flexible, and you get to pick what card you give to your opponent, and it's flexible food cost. I would say great play. Plains Wanderer. So draw 1 bonus card for each bird in your grassland, and then keep 1 and discard the rest. So you can potentially see more bonus card than you usually do. Again, just solid play. 2 food for 4 points plus bonus card. Not amazing, but good return. Alright, next we have the Princess Stephanie's Astropia. So choose 1 other player, you both lay 1 egg. So gaining egg in the forest, again, strong meta in the Oceania. I think this is great. And especially you get to choose another player. So in multiplayer, you can choose who you give that eggs to. You're not gaining points, but I guess you are gaining points against some other player that are not getting that egg. So I think great play. Pukeko. So lay 1 egg on an adjacent bird. Yeah, I think all the birds that lay eggs in Oceania I'm gonna lean towards play here. Especially this. Adjacent means left, right, up, or down. I guess no down here, but you can lay eggs on your grassland bird. So gaining eggs while you gain card. I would say play. Yeah, I haven't played this, so I don't know yet, but I'm leaning play just based on the power. All right, we have the Rainbow Lorikeet. So discard 1 nectar, and then 2 the spend nectar. If you do, gain 2 food from the bird feeder. So exchange 1 food for 2 food and help you to win the nectar points in forest. Kind of funny power, but I'm leaning yes because of the conversion is 1 to 2. So it is a low point. So I think again, might be short window of playing, but overall I think it's a good power. Rate Waterbird. So gain 1 nectar from supply for each wingspan that's less than 49. So potentially you can gain quite a bit of food, but you do have to invest 2 nectar first. So you might be netting a few. Yeah, I haven't played this, but just for the power, I would say yes. I haven't played this too many times. Just for power, I want to say play. Am I being too generous with all the play here? But we'll see. Redback Fairy Wren. Lay 1 egg on each of your bird with a star nest, including this one. So 2 food for 5 points base, and then additional star nests maybe. I mean, how many star nests do you get in a game? Like, I think in a good game maybe like 2 or 3 star nests. So including this one, so that's 2 food for 7 points. It's not great. I'm leaning no. It's kind of too situational for my taste here, so I'm gonna say tuck on this. Alright, so we have the Redcap Robin. If the next player has a grub in their supply, gain a grub. Yeah, I'm not like excited about the power, but it's cheap and you can jumpstart your forest. Sure, go for a play, but again, short window of playing. I don't think I'm gonna play this past round 2 if I already have another forest bird. Yeah, if this is not my first forest bird, I'm likely not gonna play it at all. All right, Redneck Avocet. All right, it's the same power. if another player has grub, you get to get grub. But this time it's in the wetland, so you can potentially gain food when you draw a card. And you need one card to kickstart your wetland. I won't be too mad playing the Avacen. Yeah, I guess play. Alright, we have the Red Wing Parrot. Give 1 nectar to your opponent if you do lay 2 eggs or gain 2 food from the feeder. Again, any power that gain eggs in, forest or wetland, I think may be worth it. It doesn't have too many egg spots though, so yeah. But you also don't want to activate this too many times, giving your opponent too many nectar, but I think I'm leaning play on this. I think the Oceania really changed the valuation of food above eggs here, so I think I'm leaning play on this. The Region Bowerbird. So choose one other player, you both gain a grub. Again, cheap bird, grassland forest, and then give away food to another player. I guess play, not fantastic, but good enough for early game. Royal Spoonbill, okay, similar power that we have seen before. You get to reset the tray and draw a card with Platform a Star. Definitely solid play in the early game, or even mid game, I would say. Roughest Night Owl, Night Heron, so it's a hunter. So you look at the card from the deck. If it's live in wetland, you tug. It's not great hunter. Yeah. I think with so many play, I'm gonna give this a tug. This hunting power, I feel like it's okay. Someone need to calculate what's the probability here, but it doesn't feel too good. Maybe leaning towards tug for this. Rufus Owl, so draw 1 face-up card from the tray with a wingspan less than 75. So, you get to see 3 cards in the tray, and more or less whether you get a tug or not by looking at the tray. 7 food for 6 points. Yeah, I guess it's a play. Especially in Oceania, that's why I find, you play 1 bird in forest, 1 bird in wetland, and you are not really incentivized to play the second birds, because even if you play the second birds in forest or wetland, you're still getting 2 food or 2 cards. So most of the time, I'm looking to play a second bird if it's big points. If it's another low point birds, it's really not great. So anyway, that got sidetracked, but I think the Rufus Owl kind of fit that, so I would say play. Alright, next we have the Rufus Banded Honey Eater. So you get to discard 1 grub if you do gain 1 nectar. Okay, exchange nectar for grub for nectar. I don't know. I guess the appeal is you can play this in forest and wetland. I really get off put by 0 points here in Oceania board. Like low point birds, I think it really set you back, and the power is okay, so I'm gonna lean towards tug on this. Alright, the Sacred Kingfisher. So it's a pink power. When another player gains food, you get to gain either a grub or fish or a rodent. So great for kickstarting your game. Yeah, I guess in this case, again, this is 0 point birds, but I think you can gain quite a bit of food from the Kingfisher if you play it enough, like early enough. So I think it's a play. Again, maybe a medium to short window of play for this bird. Alright, we have Silver Eye, just straight up co-op, all the player gain 1 nectar. It's kind of like Hummingbird in the base game, but now it's more expensive. Yeah, I guess all player gain the nectar. Yeah, why not? Let's just say play. It is very flexible in each habitat. I'm feeling a bit more cautious about giving away resources with the Oceania board now. South Island Robin. So another player scrub, cash a grub from general supply. Yeah, low point, not guaranteed cash. I'm gonna pass, so I'm gonna say tuck. Sultan Cassowary. So discard a bird from your forest, put this card in place do not pay an egg cost, so you still have to pay the fruits. If you do, lay 4 eggs on this bird and gain 2 cherry from the supply. That's a long text, but basically you get to display as a bird, and then if you lay 4 eggs, so that's 8 points for 3 food, minus the bird that you discarded, but you gain 2 cherry back. So I guess if you have low point birds in the forest, you play this, but or maybe that's bonus or end of round go. I don't know, because most of the time I'll play like, you know, good birds in the forest that I'm gonna use, or big point birds. Probably a late game bird, and then late game, then why do I need the 2 cherry? I think I've taught myself into tugging this, not feeling strongly. And I haven't played this before, so I don't know. There might be a situation this is really good. I guess gaining that 4 eggs though, I don't know. I'm still not convinced. Okay, next we have the Spangled Drongo. So when another player gains a nectar, you gain 1 nectar from the supply. This is so strong and so annoying to play against, especially in 2-player games. I just played games where my opponent played this. It basically shut me out from gaining nectar from the supply. So very strong play, so no question. Alright, Splendid Fairy Wren. Lay 1 egg on each bird less than 30 centimeter. We'll talk a lot about similar type power. 1 point to start with, it's just a really low return, so I think I'm gonna tug. I know the appeal is the star nest, but I'm gonna tug on the Fairy Wren. Spotless Crate. So lay 1 egg on each bird in your wetland, including this one. Again, 1 point birds, and at most you make 6 points. I think in late game I gotta be able to, like, I have so many options to make 6 points, and that's not 6 points straight. You have to discard 8 to play this bird, so maybe at most you net 4 or 5 points. So not convinced. This is a tug for me. Stubble Quill. So when played, discard up to 6 food and lay 1 egg for each discarded food. Okay, so it's 1 food for 4 points, and I must say I have played this bird and got 6 eggs from it before. I think just from the 1 food for 6 points alone is a good return, and if you have extra food and you can plan for it, I think at the end of the game this is quite good. So I'm gonna lean towards play for this. The Sulfur Crested Cockatoo. So you tug a card from your hand. If you do, all player gain a nectar. So we kind of talk about this. That's another similar power with grain. It is 6 points for 2 different food. I don't know. I don't see that 1 point being worth it for giving everyone nectar here. But if I don't have other forest bird, I would still play it to jumpstart my forest. But I'm not gonna be happy about playing this, so I'm gonna say tug, but not like I'm not gonna play it, but I don't think it's that good. All right, we have the Superb Lyrebird. So this is a fun one. So you get to copy a brown power of 1 bird in the forest of previous player, and it has a star nest. So say if opponent has some good forest bird, you can copy it. I think it's just a fun bird to play. And can work really well in situation. Tawny Frogmouth. Reset the feeder, catch either grub or rodent from the feeder. So it's a hunter. Better odds. I don't know. 3 food for 5 points. And the caching power. I'm sure this is better than base game, but I don't know how much better. I think I'm kind of off-put by the 3 food for 5 points and the hunting power, so I'm gonna say tut for this. Yeah, we definitely need the Winging It math series come back to calculate all this probability here. It's really not clear to me. All right, Chewy. Okay, another fun bird that copy brown power. Again, just a play for me. It's just fun and strategically could be very useful. Wedge-tailed Eagle. Okay, this is the one you look at the deck. If it's greater than 65, you get to tug and cash. So 2 points. 3 rodent for 7 points. Great hunter and flexible habitat. Definitely a play. Welcome Swallow. So you get to tuck 1 card from the deck behind each bird in this habitat. So again, at most you gain 6 points, and you get you have 1 to start with. We've talked about this. The return is too low, and yeah, I don't see this bird being a great option even in late game. Again, I get it. The appeal is the star nest, but I'm not convinced. That's probably the worst swallow in the game so far. That's unfortunate. Alright, the white belly sea eagle. Reset the bird feeder and then gain either a fish or rodent and then cash it. So again, a hunting power is similar to the frogmouth, but maybe slightly worse because it's fish and rodent. And that's another thing I didn't think about. Someone pointed out to me with the Oceania board, and you have the bird dice with the nectar dice now. So I think it's harder to roll for fish and rodent now. It is 3 food for 7 points. I think in a lot of cases I'll still play it. I'll bring back the appeal of, you know, when I look at playing second or third birds in my forest or wetland, I want to make sure it's a big point birds and I can activate the brown power. So I think this is going to be good for middle or late game. So I'm going to say play. Alright, the white-breasted wood swallow. So lay 1 egg on each bird in your grassland, including this one. So could this be a good bird to get some eggs early game if you have food? It doesn't feel great when you play it in early game because, you know, you at most get maybe 2 eggs for 2 grub. That's not great return. But if you play late game, this is 2 low points and you don't need the eggs. You see what I'm saying? You need the egg in early game, but you don't want to play this in early game. But if you play late game, you have better option of scoring points. So I'm gonna say tuck on this. White face heron. So reset the feeder, gain all the fish, and you may cash them on this bird. I think that's an interesting hunter. I play it. The brown power is not super reliable, but I think it's similar to the sea eagle. It is 3 food for big points, and you can potentially get a few caches. So I think that's the play for me. All right, coming to an end here. So we have the Willy Wagtail. So you get to draw a card, either a bowl or star nest, and you can reset the tray before doing so. And this might be the best among all this power because you can play in any habitat. I think this is a super play. I mean, you can play in forest and gain card in the forest. That's such a strong start in early game. And even grassland. Don't see a lot of situation you want to play this in the wetland. Yeah, this is a super play for sure, no question. Alright, the last bird, we have the right bill. So you look through all the discarded bonus card and keep one of them. This is a fun one. It's interesting. Again, 2 food, 4 points, and the bonus card is solid, and the power is fun. So not much complaint there. I would say this is a play. All right, I think that's it. That's wrap up the tug of play for Oceania Bird. Yeah, I'm really interested to hear, you know, based on all the birds that we have discussed, you know, what are your thoughts on some of the birds? I'm sure my opinion will change as I play more of the Oceania game. But yeah, let me know what are your thoughts. In any case, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.